Hello, Simone. So we were supposed to have a course today, but you felt pretty bad, so it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let me know when you would like to reschedule. This is a transcript of last week, December 26th. The whole week was a bit intense for everyone, so I'm trying to get back to my normal schedule. So we talked about pollution, okay, pollution, and also the heat uh, in Rio de Janeiro. And we started. I don't remember what we were talking about. Attention whore or attention. This is an attention whore. This is like a person who wants to get a lot of attention. Attention whores. It's many people. They try to do whatever they can in order to get the attention of an audience, a group of people, a person. It's just in general, a person is very, we say obnoxious, very annoying, trying to really try to get the attention in so many different ways. So, um, an attention whore, obnoxious, and well, maybe just keep this one for the time being, okay? The country is the worst polluting country, or the worst polluted country as well. We can use both. What would be the difference is polluting, like this country is polluting a lot, and polluted is like it's polluted, you know. I would say China. I think China is worse than Brazil because you guys still have some forest, nature and everything. China as well, but it's so polluted because they make so many things for the entire world. They use a lot of, chemicals, aluminium, lead, plastic. They recycle a lot of plastic for America. But anyway, to turn on the air conditioning, uh, pretty much all day and all night long because you guys are dealing with very harsh and rough temperatures. Okay, so to turn on the air conditioning, you said Fahrenheit is like 90. Uh, Concerning the criminality in Rio de Janeiro, you said that you've never been robbed in Rio, which is good. We say crossing the fingers or touching wood. It's a superstitious behavior or an expression. So touching wood or crossing the fingers. Okay. Then, I've worked with a Brazilian family when I was working in Mexico City. The guy was a manager for HSBC, and the woman was just like not doing anything. She was just spending you know, her days taking care of her kids, but not really directly because she had so many nannies, so many maids. So basically, she was reading, you know, not she was not really doing too many things. She had tutors coming time to time, but she was a bit of a lazy woman. So, but anyway, and she was very rich. We say filthy rich, but not to this level. She was rich, but not filthy rich. Filthy rich will be like millionaires or billionaires. They reach a very a high standard. I think this family. The guy was working for HSBC as a manager. He was in charge of Central America, the Caribbean, and South America. And he told me he was an engineer, but he ended up being a banker, so which is a bit, I don't know, awkward to me. I think you can do that in Mexico, but not in Europe or in America. But anyway, and the guy had, I think HSBC was paying for a lot of stuff, so that's why they ended up having a lot of nannies, a lot of helps in order to feel like they were living a high standard life. But anyway, so filthy rich will be like you deal with millions, and or billions if you want to. Though, sorry about that. Mexico, I don't know if you guys are dealing with this kind of similar problems, but there are many cartels, and many Americans don't want to travel to Mexico because they have a lot of stereotypes about the cartels. The thing is, in America, the criminality is quite dangerous, so they live in denial. Americans live in denial because they don't want to admit that their country is quite dangerous. Paying for being arrogant. Um, Paying for being arrogant. I would say probably we were talking about the journalists. We were talking about some politicians. They're paid for being arrogant. I guess grandchildren, granddaughter, grandson. Be careful of that. Um, in marketing, we were talking about Paris Hilton. In marketing, there are many things. They mimic a lot of bad stuff. They can mimic, the pleasure. They can mimic the feeling of being strong or tough, or many commercials or ads or targeting a specific market. Okay, it can be middle-aged women, younger women, teenagers, um, young adults. It can be men, women, uh, men. They're quite easy to target. They just have to look fun. They have to look tough. They have to look powerful. Okay, and it gives the feeling of, in life you have to have a lot of expectations in order to feel happy. And if you don't meet these kind of expectations, you deal with depression or anxiety. So marketing is some kind of a booster for, I would say, depression and frustration. Okay, so but among that, you have a lot of ads, especially luxurious ads, like for perfume, easily for perfume, about perfume and luxurious clothes and accessories. See, just mimic an orgasm. It's so weird. You see the positions, the postures, the gestures. You see how the models are acting. It's just weird, really weird. And the last time, I don't know where I saw that. It was an ad for um, a Swiss watch. Don't remember which brand, but you could see two hands, together, and it was like mimicking some kind of a sexual stuff. It was pretty obvious, and I got a bit shocked to see that this is on the street, in a big city. So, but nowadays marketing is allowed to be vulgar, to be popular, because the popularity is quite demanding on this level. There is a movie you can watch, is Idiocracy. Just write it down, Idiocracy, and it's a comedy that was released a few years ago. Idiocracy, and it's about a guy and a woman. The woman is a whore, and the guy works for the military, and they're gonna end up living in the future. They're gonna be part of a program, and they're gonna end up living in the future, and everyone is an idiot in the future. So, when you look at the education system, you're not really surprised. And they don't know how to grow things, they don't know how to grow crops. And they feel like, it's just the evolution. They are so addicted to TV, fast foods, everything that is easy. So they just get more and more demanding, with easy things. And so they end up having lower IQs, they cannot communicate, they cannot talk, they cannot do anything. And so these two guys, the woman and the man, from the past, they're gonna end up being the most intelligent people uh, of the earth, at that time in the future. And so yeah, I thought they're gonna change the point of views of different people, and yes, it's just frightening because you feel like we'll we're heading to this kind of future. Um, the intelligentsia, people with a real intelligence, not necessarily, how to fix a tap water or anything like that. I mean, this is practical, but there is a real intelligence where, you need to look at the bigger picture. You need to look at the future of the humankind, not just your selfish cocoon. You have to look at the nation, the patrie. You need to look at a country for what it is, not just where this is my world and I don't care about the other people. Well, it's a protective behavior, and I understand that. But the thing is, all these people living in the future in this comedy, uh, they were really selfish. They have no understanding of what can happen to other people. They don't have any feelings anymore. They don't have any empathy, unfortunately. Okay, empathy. But anyway, watch this movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So children nowadays are very frustrated, more and more frustrated. So because when they deal with, ads, TV, commercials, they're all told how to behave, you know, and when they don't get what they want, they get the frustration. Okay, and of course the parents are the models. So if they see the parents behaving in a certain way, uh, they're gonna mimic that as well. So aggression, violence, vulgarity, it's quite becoming more and more common in some kids. So you want to protect your kid, to send your kid to a private school, but it doesn't protect your kid at all. You get some kind of a superior education comparison to the public system, but doesn't make the education better. Okay, it's just gives you this impression of having something better, but it's not necessarily like that. But anyway, I was talking about the lady Sovereign. She's a British singer, and she had some problems with a marketing agency in San Francisco. She's still popular. She's still doing a lot of stuff. But I think in California, she got burnt by in the field. In the marketing field. We know that Lady Sovereign is a real how can I say um, a spoiled brat. Let me just write it down. A spoiled brat. It's like a kid who lives here, with very very rich parents, and they can travel wherever, they can go wherever, they get whatever they want, really anytime. And she behaves like a spoiled brat, very vulgar, highly vulgar. You have no idea how many British kids are vulgar, violent, and aggressive. And when I talk about violence, it's quite of a serious matter. I remember taking the underground, the subway in London once, and I saw two kids. They were not older than 8 years old, and they were just aggressing everyone in the subway. It was really, really strange to see this kind of behavior. And I've seen that also in northern France when I was still a student taking the subway. And you could see some kids, two, three, four kids aggressing everyone, in a very vulgar way. And you just like, look, the kids should be in school, should be taken care by the parents, but their own priorities, they should, be present. Seems like the priorities have been changed over the years, so it's quite sad. But anyway, many aggressive kids in England, and we are under the impression that the British are more, polite, respectful. Not all of them, unfortunately. So they were sent to jail. FBI. To send someone to jail is, that's the expression. To send someone to jail. The jet clean is when you guys have been sending some politicians, Brazilian politicians, to jail. And this is a link. So it's like the car wash, I guess, the car wash operation. And it's all about the money laundering, exchange rate. Many big heads, you know, have been hit, by this car wash operation. Not immune, they're no longer immune, because if they end up in jail, it means they don't have any immunity. The companies have to pay $2 billion. There's no S here. $2 billion. Okay, so far. We also talked about New Year's Eve. Okay, and I asked you when is your due time. So it should be end of April, which is close. You'll see after. You're not gonna have time for a lot of stuff. For me, it's becoming more and more common for some very rich women to have a surrogate mother. You can say that as well. Is when you have a woman, uh, you know, carrying your baby, because you don't have time for that. You don't want to have your body deformed. Uh, you still want to work or whatever, whatever reason. So it's becoming more and more common to this kind of stuff, and also for genetic reasons. Some Jewish families, they want to use this kind of alternative or option in order to have a healthy baby. Um, the other thing is, it's quite expensive. So you have a lot of women, they make a living like that. To get paid, several $1,000s in order to give birth to a baby that they're not gonna have the opportunity to keep. So it's quite weird, very weird to do this kind of stuff. But anyway, this is the end of the transcript. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want to take a class. Maybe tomorrow is not going to be possible, but Wednesday will be easier for me. And just keep in touch. Let me know. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you sometime this week. Take care.